So, left hand one was your before. So the issues we can see here now all kind of stem from setup. Once one thing kind of goes wrong, the whole production sort of breaks down, and then things start trying to take over or do something they shouldn't be doing, or evolve a movement to try and help you complete the goal swing. Okay, so as you sort of put the right hand on the golf club now, we can see the shoulder kind of going forward there, that right arm. And because that shoulder's going forward, it meant they were aiming out to the left. That made it tough for you to rotate. Added to the fact you were stood to the golf ball with quite a sort of vertical, kind of straight up posture. I would say looking for that sort of 90 degrees there, not really anywhere near where we need to be for that position. Okay, so because of that, you weren't able to turn your body or rotate as easily. Therefore, once you got a point on the way back where you sort of, well, I can't go any further now, so you can see your sort of your hips on your right hip trouser pocket's not really moving that much. When you got to about here somewhere, something else did the work, and what happened now is your elbows just started lifting. As they start lifting, they start splaying out. Right elbow now to keep going. Okay, and you can see how high that right elbow is there. I mean, we want that right elbow sort of at least level or beneath the shoulder, where you're a good few inches above that shoulder there now. So because of that steeper chop, the left arm now across your head, both arms are now going to be bending quite dramatically. So that's going to mean reaching the ground very, very difficult, yeah? So because of that now, you sort of add movements in there, we sort of drops and dips into it, okay? Sort of bending the knees to try and get down to the golf ball. As you come back in the golf ball there now, okay, you're generally going to be swinging across this way, and that's going to cause the ball to slice off to the right there. Sometimes you get some decent shots. I mean, you can almost see this one is not actually that bad a strike, but it took you 8 or 10 shots to kind of find that shot with the same club from the same spot with a good line, no consequence, yeah? We want the game of golf to be at a position where it's just like, okay, here's my shot, this is what I do, rather than like, hang on, give me 10 swings, I'll figure it out, okay? So with this setup here now, again, I know there's a lot to sort of take in, but I think mostly being set up, we'll talk this down in terms of the tip down there with your right arm down the leg, just keeps your shoulders now kind of on line with the white line there. So if we put a line across your chest there, you're kind of parallel to that white line, and by tipping down this way, you're maintaining that level of shoulder alignment. Then you put your right on the golf club, tip forward over the ball a bit more, feet as wide as your shoulders, and a softening in the knees. If the knees, if you feel a bit of sort of strain back in the old hammies back there, you're either tilted over too much or your legs are too straight. Yeah, there needs to be a bit of flex. I'm not saying bend your knees, okay, but at this point here now, your legs should be just softening up. So you can still see the lace on your shoes. If you bend so far you can't see your shoes, you're way too much. But likewise, if you're locking them back here now, that's not going to be a very nice feeling on your hamstrings or your kneecaps for that matter as well. So it's about setting up in a safe position, obviously. And then from here now, a bit more lean as you can see there now, which is good. The right side of your body, right hip, right shoulder, it's going to rotate behind you, and that's going to get the club now working a lot more efficiently in the backswing, so you won't need to lift the elbows quite so much. Okay, so you get to about here somewhere, that's sort of where your backswing would need to be. Your right elbow at this point is just above the right shoulder, okay, compared to where it was. I mean, it's chalk and cheese, isn't it, really? So it's going to take a little bit of practice to go from there to then get it down a little bit more and a bit more again, and so on and so forth. But getting just a general better structure in the backswing, it'll give you a chance now to return that club back to the ball on a more consistent basis. Okay, so reasonable strike of the ball there. Goes a bit high because of the way you're striking the goal, but at least we're getting connection, club on ball, yeah? I think for you, if you can practice that sequence back here we talked about, where club goes down first, get the left hand on in that kind of little stronger position, your left thumb is off to the side, you can see those two knuckles. Then you slide your right hand down your leg so it keeps your shoulders in a sort of what we call straight or square position. And then you build your stance around that, trying to feel as though you're a little bit more over the ball like so you can reach the ground. If you're up here and you're bending your knees and your pelvis is tipped underneath, you can't rotate from there. So if you can't rotate, these take over. Yeah. And that's kind of what happened. It was like, this was slightly wrong at setup, which meant your backswing was slightly wrong on the way back, which meant there's something on the way down to improve or adjust. And every now and then, just because you've been getting better at playing golf, you get some good shots from these positions. Some of the good shots you've hit in the last few weeks, even as bad as you've been playing, have been from that position. Yeah, it's just 1 in 10 are good, the other 9 are close your eyes and shut the door kind of thing. Yeah, rather than like, well, if I hit a bad shot, it still goes somewhere. Yeah, And that's what this sort of technique on the right is going to hopefully produce a bit more of a consistent element to your game, i.e. your bad shot is just less bad. Yeah, your good shot's good, but your bad shot at the moment, you've had a few swipes and a miss, as you said. So if we can reduce that to at least going somewhere down the fairway, 50, 60 yards, it's playable, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense?
Yeah, I mean,
good. There'll be some more things I think we'll look at probably next session in terms of how the club transitions down and the club face impact. But for the most part now, is get yourself just setting up to the golf ball so you just do it right all the time, and then learn about that backswing, what your elbows are going to do. Okay, mate?
Yeah,
good stuff. Right.